you demonstrated to me how to apologize in public.
Thank you.
How to say, oops, like how to go. And around an issue, and I'm sure you know what I'm referring to.
I do. You were so, we can go anywhere you want, but only because it's you.
Three daughters, and one of them gave me this. I think it's to claim her space.
Let me read it again.
It says, my favorite child gave me this cup. So I have three daughters. One of them gave me this cup, and I was like, that's bold.
We have three girls and a boy.
Oh, we did not. We opted out of boy. Not that we actively did. I just think well, maybe inside my body I actively did.
Yeah.
But I
want to be surrounded by women.
Yeah, we had our first daughter, who's now 14, and that went well. So my wife and I thought I'm an only child, which I don't know if you know that about me. So we had one. I was like, that's great. And my wife's one of four. She's like, no, we have to have more. Only children are weird. And I was like, but she's like, yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I did not stutter. So then we had two, and I was like, another girl. And then by the time we had the third, I was like, this has got to be a girl, because I feel like I kind of understand how this goes.
Yeah.
You know? So
I'm grateful for all the girls and granddaughters in my life.
And I know there's people even in the studio who have boys. Like, but I'm just very happy that, like, in the current state of the world, I feel like as a man, I can give my girls, I can give them like the state secrets on boys and men. Whereas if I had boys, I'd be like, do your best.
You also give them self-esteem.
Yeah.
I think fathers who understand that.
Yeah.
They're golden.
Yeah. It's very much like you are your own person. And if you want to add, like, my daughter's 14 now, so this is not where I expected to start this podcast, but we go.
But we've got the women's demographic. Boom.
Well, yeah.
And we can move on and do some manly.
Very
manly
cynically,
stuff.
I wanted to sew up the women's demographic before I started the podcast. This was a cynical move. Let me. Actually, I just want to make sure I don't have the manosphere demographic. Let me be clear about that.
Well, I do if you don't.
Yeah, you do. It's Ted Danson,
Liquid
manly
death.
manly man. So thank you for coming here. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. This is who knows how this will all air, but you are my first guest on the podcast.
That's so cool.
So first I'd like to start my podcast by giving people their flowers, by giving people giving their flowers as a way to say, here are things that I like about you, that I'm impressed about you. And you're a person who loves compliments. I know that about you.
Gosh, that's all over the the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It relaxes me. So
well, good,
please.
Good. Well, so I just want to say personally, I was born in 1973. So when the 80s hit, I'm starting to be a kid who understands things. So by the time Cheers airs, I've been a TV watcher for many years, and Cheers starts, and that's just like me and my mom's appointment television. And and we lived in Boston.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, also it was legally, we had to.
Yes.
And so Cheers taught me, it was one of the early ways in which I learned about comedy and how comedy works. Actually, to get ready for this, I watched the first episode of Cheers, which I hadn't seen.
Wow.
I don't know when. It's certainly not in 30 years, And first of all, I was impressed with how well it held up as a piece of comedy. It's really written quite tightly, but also how modern it also felt. I don't know if you remember the first shot of Cheers. Do you remember what the very first shot of Cheers is on the very first episode?
Well, was there a teaser? Did a kid come in?
Yeah, that's a kid. But even before that, it's a shot of you walking through the bar, just sort of like getting ready to open the bar. And it's very quiet. It's very sort of like with the melancholy Cheers music behind it.
Yeah.
And it feels like something you would do now, but in the early 80s, it felt like that was pretty unique. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a thing. Back then, it was like jokes. Yeah. And so it's shot in a very modern way, which I was very impressed with. So you, Ted Danson, as a character, Sam Malone from Cheers, was like one of my defining comedic elements of my early life. Like, I would say like that was something that like made me go, oh, this is comedy. That's my favorite character. Like that. I hope to be a Sam Malone someday. That didn't work out. Probably for the best.
Thank God.
Yes, exactly. My wife is appreciative of that. But as a young man who was like, I think I like this.
Yeah.
I think I like girls. That was my goal. But then the thing that is so impressed with me about you now is that my 88-year-old mom, who used to watch Cheers with, I said, I'm going to talk to Ted Danson. She got excited. My wife, whose age will remain unsaid, was very excited. Was like, I can't believe you're going to talk to Ted Danson for the second time, and I'm not going to meet him. Like, she was like, you've talked to him twice, and I haven't met. She's
okay. Here's a future podcast. Could be mine or yours.
Okay.
For your wife and my wife and you and me.
Okay. All right.
Because that's fun to do.
That is fun to do. That is fun to do. Yeah. So okay. So we're booking spinoffs. You're
yes.
as a man in show business, you understand the power of spinoffs. And then the third thing. My 14-year-old daughter was excited that I was talking to you. So I like that's
that's quite a span.
That's quite a span.
Yeah.
I will say this. I said, I'm talking to Ted Danson. She said, who's Ted Danson? And I said, Michael from The Good Place. She's like, oh, and she got very she didn't have your name, but she immediately knew who you were. And I don't know if you remember, but last time I talked to you, she hadn't seen The Good Place yet. And you asked me about it. And I was like, she might be ready. So I went home. She went through the whole thing, and it is now one of those things that exists for her in the same way it does for me as one of the great TV statements of all time.
What I agree. 12? How old is she?
14 now.
14. That is the age.
Yes.
That they really people really appreciate. They're starting to formulate what they find funny in life, their sense of humor, but they're also getting ethics and it's described this, it's hidden by 9-year-old fart humor and special effects and everything, but it's about something.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And to me as a parent, it makes me feel like, oh, my daughter has a good sense of humor because she likes The Good Place. Like it's, there are lots of things your kids might like that you have judgments about, but it made me go, I'm raising a smart, cool kid who understands that kind of humor. You know what I mean? And then one of the things I want to talk to you about today is how you have created this career longevity. In that, like when I looked up your IMDb, there are shows that you did more than 100 episodes of that probably wouldn't make your short bio. You know what I mean? Like if somebody said, send me a 50-word bio, Ted Danson. There are shows that you've done that have gone into syndication that you'd be like, well, for 50 words, I can't include this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just the idea that you've been able to, as someone who's constantly trying to figure out how to stay in this business and what road I should take in this business, I just can't help but be awed by the career longevity that you've had. And it's certainly been some of this, but it has been steady the whole way.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's now in the middle of my career, firmly in the middle, trying to figure out how much longer do I work? Will I have work? Will I be available? Will I be able to sustain my life and all these things? To look at you as somebody who's many, if not most, people who were big in the 80s are not still impressing 14-year-olds. So you're doing something.
I've been
Now we're done.
I'm part of that.
Podcast is over.
I'm part of that equation. Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's the writing, and I give myself credit for, being smart enough to find those writers and be part of that creative experience. But my career has been rescued and rejuvenated several times by brilliant writers. But let me go back and just say, please thank your family.
Okay.
For that.
Okay.
And the fact that they felt that way is, I'm letting in. I'm so chuffed. It means a lot to me.
Yeah.
It really does. I appreciate it. I have so much respect for you.
Thank you.
And that obviously, the reason why I have respect for you probably comes from your mother and your wife and your children, who inform you. Yeah. So I genuinely mean that. Thank you. It means a lot. So pass that on.
I will pass that on because I think it does mean a lot to them. And it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to me to be able to say it to you, to be able to tell you that, because I think a lot of times in this business, in this life, you sort of you have these conversations with people in your head, but you don't know that you're ever going to have them in life. And I've really tried to, part of this podcast is me getting people in the chair that I feel like I want to let this person know what they mean to me personally, even if I've never met them before. So
okay, so it's not that I'm going to give you flowers, but
please.
But you know this because we sat down and you were on Where Everybody Knows Your Name early on the podcast I do. So, and Woody does. But for me, I have seen you for many years, and one of the things I always question about myself is I know I'm nice and sweet and thoughtful and, caring, and I put out a good thing.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I ask myself, is that enough in this world we're living in?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always looked at you and gone, oh my, here's somebody who's really funny, really thoughtful. You make me laugh, but you have so much courage to stick yourself into the mayhem that we live in and still be that person you are, which is, you have kindness reeking from your pores, and you still have that while you're out there being courageous. And I always check myself. I don't use you to beat myself up, but I do, do wonder, Ted, are you so non-confrontive that you are making a mistake here by not jumping on the barricades like you do and like Jane Fonda does? Is it okay to be me? Anyway, so I love that I'm sitting here with you. Back to you.
Yes. Well, first of all, it is okay. It is okay to be you. I think let's be clear about that. I don't want to get you away going, he didn't tell me it was okay to be me. But I think the thing I think about is that we all have different roles to play here.
Yeah.
In whatever this is, I think roles in our careers and then roles in like what I would now say firmly is like saving the country, by extension the world, but certainly the country.
Yes.
And I just was on a panel at South by Southwest with Jane Fonda, and I was also impressed with she's the same age as my mom and just how kinetic she is and how fervent she is and how clear-minded she is and how that's been her the whole way that I've known her in my life, and that she doesn't seem to have backed off. She was on her way to Minneapolis. I think she's going to do No Kings in Minneapolis. And it's just but I think the thing that I would say is that, we all have different ways that we do this. Not everybody wants to go against the barricades, and not everybody even has the ability to go against the barricades for various reasons. And the thing I always hold on to, as long as we feel like we're not getting comfortable in whatever we're doing, as long as we're sort of every now and again going let me put myself in a position, let me make sure I'm speaking out enough in ways that make me feel like I'm not taking the easy way out.
Yeah.
Sort of the idea of at some point, maybe you're afraid to, and I don't know if you're on social media like this, but at some point people are like, I'm going to put Black Lives Matter up on my Instagram page. And what are people going to say? At some point that becomes easy to put a thing on Instagram. Or to put that Black Lives Matter thing on Instagram. So as long as I think I think of it as going to the gym. As long as we're sort of constantly pushing ourselves, especially when we see what's being pushed back against us.
Well, here I'm not on social media. I haven't listened to my podcast. I don't. I love doing it.
Yeah.
I love spending time with people I wouldn't have spent time with, and all of that stuff. But I'm not on social media, so. To if I put something out into the universe, it ain't brave because I don't see the pushback.
Exactly. Yeah. But but there's also, I just think it's, it's also being surrounded by people who can check us and go, hey, you say you're this person, which is I think what I have around me. You say you're this person, but you're doing that.
Yeah.
Or if you are this person, you should be doing this. Or the thing I have is because I live in Oakland, a lot of activists who are always asking me to do things, and sometimes they ask me to do things like. I have to sort of say, what is that feeling I'm feeling? Will I still do it? But it's also good to know that I'm surrounded by people who feel like they can ask me these things. And there are
probably some things you shouldn't say yes to.
No, for sure.
But yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm also I have to remind myself, you have 3 kids that you're still raising who are very young. So maybe you can't, you personally can't I don't know, literally throw myself against the barricades. Because I don't do that either.
Choose your battle.
Yeah. And so, but what I could do is a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago, I went to Minneapolis to talk to people on the ground there about what was going on in Minneapolis. to just hear what
you were with camera. You mean?
With a camera. I have a Substack now, so it's all on my Substack, and talk to people on the ground.
What is the Substack?
Okay, do you know Substack?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, it's funny. Substack has become a newsletter platform where many journalists have gone to who were fired by major platforms. So like Jim Acosta, who was like a CNN anchor,
yes,
now is doing his same show on Substack. It's where I've been able to do the sort of work I was doing on CNN, but now that CNN doesn't employ me to do that work anymore, like I was able to find other people who would send me to Minneapolis, and I talked to people for 3 days there and got incredible conversations that I think you would enjoy if you like what I've done before.
I will. And thank you for this. It's really interesting because we were just talking about Jane Fonda. We were at her house the other day, Mary and I, my wife, Mary Steenbridge, and there was a group of people who have hold some space in the world of communicating or whatever. And they had somebody, and I wish I could remember his name and the organization, but basically he was an expert in how America gets its news. And it was full of diagrams and everything, so it was really clear. But mainstream news, press, the people who tend to be more liberal, so we can just say liberal conservative.
Sure.
People who are more liberal have a slight margin ahead of the conservative. People consume it, more liberals consume it, and they reach more people than liberals and conservatives. Then you take a look at how America and everyone in it gets their news. The percentage of people that get it from mainstream media is minuscule compared to this. In my graphs, it was like, here's mainstream and this huge sphere of people getting their information and points of view and belief systems from the internet, from social media. Right?
Yeah.
And then you try to find the dots in this huge sphere of dots that are people who represent your point of view, call it liberal for this, is minuscule. So the fact that there are Substacks out there and there are people like you, and I'm going to say people like me, even though I'm basically talking to celebrities, but there's there's an ending that I now have. This is okay to...
Yeah.
Okay. My thing that I've started to do in the last, 30, 40 podcasts that I've done is at the end, after doing all the other stuff, saying, I don't mean to turn this political. I mean partisan. You can be political. But there's a lot of sadness and fear and anger out in the world right now. How's your heart? And it leads into a different conversation. Some becomes very political. Some becomes the questioning, am I doing enough? All the things that I'm questioning about myself and giving voice to it. And somehow I think that's good. And anyway, you in a big way have, a big dot in that social media thing. And that's what we need to do. We've been on our haunches, and it's a harder push because a lot of far right, I will say, is full of anger, hate, and they don't have to tell the truth.
Yeah.
So that's a much easier magnet to get people to listen than something that is a kinder, gentler, genuine truth. But they encourage us, then I'll keep my mouth shut.
No.
Oh, wait, you're interviewing me, so I can talk. I can talk.
It'd be weird if I felt like I was talking too much earlier, so this is what I came for.
We were told in this evening, just get out there. Be genuine. Don't get out there in something that is not you and real, but get out there so that at some point you can start. You've gotten people to listen and have trust. You can also then start to put out, hey, vote. Hey, get out there. This is very important.
I mean, I will say this, that I have learned, and it's as much as it seems silly, but like if I show up at a protest in Oakland where I live, it makes a difference for the people who are there, who are like, many of them are hardcore activists or people who are like, maybe this is their first protest, because they go, if Kamau's here, one, it means that
it's
maybe
valid.
This is a real thing. And like I said, it feels silly, but also if I'm there, it just brings more attention because I'm sort of a famous person. So it feels like, oh, the message is going to get out, or people take pictures with me and then they put the picture. And I've seen many pictures of the back of my head. Look, Kamau Bell was here at this thing. And so as much as it feels sort of silly to me, I recognize, like I went to a teacher's rally in Oakland recently. People reached out to me and said, would you come to this? And I got there and people were just like happy to see me there, which is great. I've been working with teachers in Oakland for a long time. And then at some point I heard the person on stage go, now for our closing speaker, W. Kamau Bell. And it's like, oh.
How'd that go?
I did fine. I mean, luckily as a comedian, I always got a few things in my head that I sort of like, and I sort of always am thinking. So I only spoke for a couple minutes. They didn't need me to do like an hour, but and I think really I just was there. I sort of was there. My job is just to rally and say you're in the right place doing the right thing. So,
right.
So I've gotten used to that in a way that like 10 years ago, I would have freaked out if I'd been in a thing like that and they said, now Kamau Bell.
Thank you for this, because I need to do that. I haven't done it yet, and I need to do it not just because it'll make me feel good or I can say I did it, which it will help.
Yeah.
But it's also, I think the thing about demonstrations, although what you really need to do is, as you do, support, ACLU, support people who know how to fight this in the courts, because that seems to be the only ground that we can.
But it's like improv.
It's reassuring. It's not reassuring. It's telling people you're not alone.
Yes.
And
then I'm a part of this community too. And to reflect back to you, I know you say that like you take some responsibility for your career and your place in this industry, but it's also the writers. But I would say that like the thing that I also see in you is there's like a grace in you that is not something that everybody that everybody has. That I would imagine that somebody who's thinking about who should we cast in this knows if they get you, they're not just getting the great comedian and the great actor, they're getting somebody who they want to have around the set, Yeah,
I think that's true. I mean, I work now for Mike Schur, basically. Yeah.
You're the Mike Schur army.
Contract. I'm a contract player for Mike Schur and Morgan Second. And they you see the exact same crew on all of his productions because they love being around him. He's efficient, he's bright, he's purposeful, and he believes in that life is too short. I don't care how talented you are. If you're behaving like an asshole, then God bless you, not for us.
Yes.
Kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And so a sense of grace is a good thing. Yeah. I make jokes that I'm not that talented, but I'm really nice. So I get hired a lot.
But you also clearly, I don't know what work looks like for you when you're like working on a script, but you're clearly like you're making big choices. And there's, I would imagine there's some busting your ass component of that we're not seeing. That there's you who's like memorizing the script or that is like doing things that goes unseen so that you can show up and have that grace.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree. Sometimes I think I've been doing the same kind of dance for a long time, which is, I mean, there are a few things I've done that are different work, but mostly it has been light comedy or even heavy comedy, but comedy.
Yeah.
And that is you dig down deep, but not as deep as you dig down if you're in, I don't know, name your favorite drama or emotional thing like that. But so I sometimes question myself, could I do that? Damages was wonderful, but it was funny.
Yeah.
Meaning it's funny to have somebody have such a narcissistic ego that he doesn't recognize the huge shadow of Glenn Close's character looming over him,
Yeah.
And Fargo was fun to do. But basically, I love chasing the giggle.
Yeah, but
I think
as you
that's
said,
what I was meant to do.
But there's never in your work, even in the comedy, especially you say light comedy, but there's always heart forward light comedy.
Yeah.
Like we're allowed to feel things. Like that's why I was so taken by the first scene in Cheers, because the first scene in Cheers when you walk through the bar, we're seeing a lonely broken man. Like like Sam Malone is an alcoholic who owns a bar who's like, I don't know. Like there's just
we'll
clearly
never have a lasting relationship.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like this is what my life is, and at that point we don't even know how sad it is because we know he's the next baseball player. But that's not. It doesn't open on bop ba bop ba bop. It's a fun bar and I'm having a good time, and Diane walks in.
Yeah.
It's a lonely broken man who then his day gets broken up by this relationship with this Diane. And
my youngest daughter, who's now 42.
Yes,
that'll tell you something. Asked me when she was, I don't know, 7 or 8, why, she was learning my character's name, Sam Malone. She said, why are you called Sam Alone? Which is so fucking
Sam
perfect. He was Sam
I wonder if
Alone.
did anybody, did the writers know that that's what they were doing?
I don't know, but I had never thought of it.
Sam Alone.
Can I just tell you an image? Because yes, every once in a while I do watch Cheers.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah, I watched an episode. It's in YouTube. You can find it as a clip of Sam Malone goes to the Sex Anonymous, where people are working out their sexual addiction.
12-step, yeah.
12-step, and I'm in a circle, and I've heartfelt. There's a genuine, beautifully written heartfelt from Sam. And then the person next to me, a young lady, starts talking about her really sad, full of shame and degradation. And she goes on, and at the end of it, people clap, and you just see Sam like he's just sitting here going, "You like Chinese?" He will never not be Sam Malone.
He will never not be on the make. He will never not be. And I think there's something about you that my mom didn't mind the fact that I liked you. You know what I mean?
Yes, and that's also the writing, because if you were sorry, I'm sure there's some lovely fraternity people out there.
No, but if you were a true creep,
if you're a true creep,
there are actors in the show business who are creeps,
brat or whatever. Yeah. They loved Sam Malone, wanted to be Sam Malone. If you were in the women's movement, if you were a strong, liberated
feminist
woman, you also liked him because he was so obviously an idiot.
Yes. You
could
see him
laugh
coming.
at him.
You could
laugh at toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And I also think that casting-wise, I was kind of not me as my talents or whatever, but me as who I am as a person. It's best to have that play Sam Malone than somebody who is Sam Malone in life.
Yeah.
I think you need to get the joke of what you're playing.
Yeah.
To be able to make it palatable.
You don't want to actually think Sam Malone is actually that he's cool. Like, he is cool. He's just broken. And but the broken part is necessary for you to actually like him.
Yeah.
Because he is a cool guy. He's a cool guy. But I think that, and it is amazing to me that all comes through. And that's the thing that I think, again, about that when I think about, it's all about me today, my career and how I'm trying to navigate this. And you say the thing about like the same crew. I was pitching a project recently And somebody's like, "Do you want to hire your own producer? Do you want us to find your producer?" I was like, "No, no new friends. I can't bring in new people at this point unless they've been vetted through somebody else. I can't sort of be at a point in my career I'm sitting down.
Why? Why? I hear you, but why?
Because the thing I understand about myself is that whatever people see me at from the outside, I know it's more complicated from the inside. So I've had people come to me because they've seen my work and go, "Oh, I would love to work with you."
Gotcha.
But then when they get on the inside, they're like, "Oh, that's not what I expected it was."
Yeah.
And I know people through the year. Like I was on CNN for 7 years. I worked with hundreds of people. We did the Cosby doc. We did 1,000% Me. I've done a bunch of things. Written a couple books. That I have it's a big circle, but a circle of people who, if I call them, they go, "Yep, I'll be there," and I get it. Like there's no, and we can just get to the work.
By the way, yep. Yeah, I get it.
We don't have to talk about, I don't have to negotiate how I want to do the work.
Yeah.
Now I have a best idea wins policy. So if you have a better idea than me, great.
No.
Yeah,
I literally just wanted to hear what you said.
Yeah. But I want to be able to focus on because showbiz is so hard.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to be living up to somebody else's image of you. You want to be working with somebody who gets your heart and soul. And how do you hold this podcast? As you start out, why? Why is it just another way, or is there something special about it? Or
so I would say that there's two things in that I've done in my career that if I could just do those things, I would let everything else go away. One is stand-up comedy, but it doesn't pay well enough for me to do. But I quit for like 5 years and I came back, and I just really there's something about that is so the same thing you probably got on Cheers, where the audience is right there and you can hear it. And so I really like live performance stand-up comedy, and I really think that my most natural habitat is probably podcasting, like having conversations with people that I want to talk to. And for years, but I never had the podcast that was just mine. Like I've had podcasts that all had like a political podcast, or me and my friend Kevin Avery had a Denzel Washington podcast. So every week we talked about Denzel Washington, there's a lot to talk about. But the idea being that I'd never had a podcast that was just, Kamau, what do you want to talk about today? And so I really, in a space in this business where there's so many things you're doing because you're like, this makes sense, or I guess I could do that, or, well, they offered this much, so I should probably, there's a lot of negotiating yourself into things. And I wanted to, and I still want to have a space where I can actually I just want to talk to Ted Danson. So it's for me. It's for me.
What I heard was, what do you want to talk about today that's important that you feel is impactful and purposeful because the world is what it is?
Yeah.
Did I hear that kind of basically?
Today, just generally, or?
You said, so this allows me to do, what do I want to talk about today?
Yeah.
I offer myself up as an example of, I get it. I get everything that's happening. You don't have to convince me about the politics or the immorality. Or
you were just yelling about the ocean in Santa Monica, right?
Yeah.
As a guy who says he doesn't go out there, you were just at a meeting yelling about the ocean.
Right. So what I'm saying is there's a huge amount that we need to address. We're talking about going to No King's Day and, doing... being vocal and verbal, at least standing near the ballast, whatever you call it. Sorry, the barricades. If not on top of it, at least be present. And here's what happens to me. I'm pointing out a fault that's probably out there in the world a lot. Mm-hmm. People who believe the right thing. People like me. Mm-hmm. And I, for 35 years, have been fighting for ocean advocacy. And it's an amazing organization called Oceana, and it gives me a club to fight some of this. Yeah. Because it is science-based, and it has, lawyers, and it has activists and campaigners and all of that. But it's based on reality. It's based on science, and then it's based on the law. Mm-hmm. So I've testified in Congress and had Republicans who were pro-oil and connected to oil, ream me out. I don't care, because what I'm saying in that moment is, hey, this is the science. Yeah. Do with it what you want. Yeah. But this is the science, and this is what's going to happen if you don't do something about climate change.
Yeah.
So I'm not confronting people's belief systems or I'm not saying you're wrong and you're evil and you're an asshole.
You're saying the science is the science.
Yeah.
Although now people take that as you're an asshole. They're saying the science is the science.
But I now recognize that I hide behind that. It's a little bit I gave at the office. I'm fighting for oceans.
Yeah.
That's not enough. And so what do you say to people who are on the right side, who are active in some areas, but it's not enough anymore to just do that because there are people you love and care about are being taken off the street or shot. There are just so many wicked things happening that for me to say I'm saving the oceans is not good enough. I'm speaking
because
broadly.
you're saying that the oceans is not.
No, it's totally important.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but you're saying that like there are maybe some people would think there's other issues that are more pressing. That he's talking about the oceans and he should be talking about,
or equally pressing, or
why just that? You should be first of all.
It's like thank you, Ted. That's great.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, I say this. I find one of the great things that United Shades of America did for me is I was in a lot of different conversations that I wouldn't have been in otherwise.
Right.
So therefore, recently when there's been like a catastrophe in Hawaii, I've been to Hawaii, talked to people in Hawaii. And so I know when I see that happen, I feel a certain responsibility to sort of like talk about that and promote that in a way that I wouldn't if I hadn't talked to those people directly. So for me, the number one thing in my life that has helped is putting myself in lots of different conversations with lots of different people, even in times where I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. I think it's super important for me to be in as many different conversations as possible so that when those things arise, I have some connection to them so they don't feel so far away from me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. There was some famous person who said it's not enough to write a check or have
all of
charity
these things are
in your heart. You need to walk.
Yeah, you need all these things are different levels of things you can do. So I'm not saying don't write the check, but I do think that people think writing the check is the end all. No, that's just one aspect of this. Like right now, the thing that I keep talking about is mutual aid. Do you know about mutual aid?
Tell me.
It's mutual aid is just the concept of like instead of like necessarily writing a check to the ACLU, you put money in the hands of an undocumented person and go, here, do with this what you will. Like I know you know what I mean? Instead of like, yes, the ACLU needs a check, but also there are people in our communities right now who are afraid to go to the grocery store because ICE is on the streets. Yeah. So like when
buy them groceries.
Yeah, buy them groceries or go to the store that you know is so give the store that like for example, I was in Minneapolis. There's a bodega in Minneapolis, tienda is what they call it, called Amigos One Stop. It is run by a family of Palestinian immigrants, but it's in a Latino neighborhood. Just so happens these Palestinian immigrants grew up in South America, so they speak English, Spanish, Arabic, and Portuguese because they grew up in South America. So this guy said, my community, the people I serve are mostly Latino, but they're afraid to come here. So I've started delivering them groceries for free. And some of them, they can't pay for the groceries because they're not working. So I will give them groceries for free. And I talked to him. I walked in off the street, talked to this guy, was told to talk to this guy. And so for me, it's like he set up a Venmo. People started sending him money so he could better do the job that he was doing of helping people directly. So there's also different types of checks. You know what I mean? There's the check that is like, here, use this to buy groceries. And there's the check that is like, use this to fight.
Allow me to stay in my ivory tower and please do the work for me.
Yeah. And I think, so I feel like that one of the things this country has to sort of, that those of us on the right side have to get behind is the concept of like mutual aid, which is literally like who in your neighborhood needs help. But I want to give you some grace because sort of connected to all of this is that as a teenager who's watching Cheers and likes this guy and has dreams of being a comedian, I do want to give you some more flowers around the fact that you demonstrated to me how to apologize in public.
Thank you.
How to say, oops, like how to go. And around an issue, and I'm sure you know what I'm referring to.
I do. You were we can go anywhere you want, but only because it's you.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't want to. You would be the person I'd want to go talk to. So, and when you did my podcast, I want to give you a little flower. We nipped around we weren't nipping around it, but you said something, I said something, and we both looked at each other going, I know what you're talking about. And you said, yes, I do. And we'll move on.
Yeah.
Which was full of grace. But that doesn't mean this can't be full of grace too. So go where you wish.
It is super important to me to say that, like, this guy that I liked on TV, who was funny, who I liked his show, who also at that point is dating Whoopi Goldberg, who's a member of the Black community, who I like, who is funny, who inspired me because of Whoopi on Broadway, and that's sort of like all these things come together, and then obviously, and it sort of every now and again it pops up on the internet. I'm sure you see it. It's like new generations discover.
I don't, because I'm not on the internet. But this is why I'm really glad we are talking about it. With you though.
Yes, I hear that. So, because I full disclosure, I asked, is there anything you don't want to talk about? You did not say, I don't want to talk about this, and I give you credit for that. But for me, I only want to bring it up because just the Friars Club, blackface, you and Whoopi Goldberg. That was like the first moment I think that the Friars Club became something that the public even knew about in a way.
Right. Yes.
But this is sort of like, to me, there's like a sea change in that moment. Like the Friars Club, for people who don't know, who are listening, was this sort of like place where comedians, entertainers went and just sort of had like their own inside.
It was a roast.
The roast. Yeah. It was when roasts were private.
Yes.
Or that like.
Ha ha ha.
Yes. Yeah. The idea is like, we're all going to go into the room and say the worst things about each other or do the worst things because we're inside the club. And
Black people could say horrible things about their black brother who they were roasting.
Yes.
Jewish people, Italian people, the most vile, funny stuff came out of people's mouth. Yeah. Can I do one caveat?
Sure.
Because I would like to. But only, here's my caveat.
Sure.
Poor Whoopi Goldberg has had to defend me over the years, sweetly and gracefully. So the last thing she probably wants to do is have this, be put in this position again. My wife, Mary Steenburgen, and I have been together for, by the way, my entire family knows this.
Yeah.
Everything about me. There's not a thing that my family doesn't know.
Yeah.
So this is not a secret. It's just difficult when you're talking about having had an affair with somebody while you were married, and you've been now married for 32 years. So if I stutter a little bit, it's a little bit because of that. But what makes me so happy to talk about it? Oh, and then I don't want to. I will explain what was going on in my head.
Yeah.
Not as an excuse.
I understand.
I'm very clear, and I was blessed to have a conversation with Heather McGee, who is this brilliant lady, and her mother was brilliant, and she gave me an hour of her time. Mary and I were driving from Ojai to L.A., and she talked. So why I would like to address this is, and apologize forever. I know what was in my heart.
Yeah.
So I have no problem talking about this, but I need to and want to apologize for the rest of my life because somebody today can go on the internet, you're right, and go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow, I feel betrayed, I feel angry and whatever. And I did that. So once again, this is not I've prefaced myself out of what's going on.
No,
let me, can I tell you what was going on? Because I think there are lessons, So, and Whoopi, I apologize if you're listening to, be talking. But Whoopi and I had an affair. And it was ending. And we actually asked the Friars Club. We had already agreed to do it, and then our relationship was ending, and we said, we should get out of this. And they said, we will sue you.
Oh my
because they had sold so many tickets.
Oh, showbiz, yeah.
Yes.
And again, this is not really a public event, right? It's not really. Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
So my brain was going, okay, here is one of the most outrageous, funny, black women in the world at that point. And I'm supposed to be roasting her, and I'm not a stand-up.
You're not.
I can't run with the bulls. I am, I'm an actor
being a comic
best.
actor and a
yes. If the
comedian.
material's funny, I can be funny.
Yeah.
And so I was, what am I going to do? And then I thought, well, I can do performance theater. So I will do performance theater. And I looked at all these tapes, and it's like, well, if I were black, I could say all these outrageous things. I'm not. Then my mind went, well, I will do it in blackface. That will be funny or not, but it'll I have license now to. And then the press and the news was not the healthy news, were going after us, mixed race, an affair. It couldn't be because they liked each other or saw something in each other. It had to be sex. It had to be just pure sex. That's the only reason for a relationship like this. Yeah. And there was a lot of mean. So my comedy and trying to address our relationship, and I didn't realize was getting darker and darker, or angrier inside of me.
So that the performance was...
That had a real fucking edge to it. But what I was describing was... And Whoopi at that time, part of her act was, I don't care about using the N-word. I don't do whatever you want. Because the most eloquent, soft-spoken person can take you off at the knees. They don't have to use nasty language. They can take you off, They can be racist in their actions and be the sweetest talking human being on the planet. So the words have nothing. Yeah. And it was part of her comedy bit. So I kind of latched onto that. Wow. Once again, this is here. Let me throw in. I thought I could pull this off.
It was a high wire.
I thought that there's no one been whiter than me in the world.
Yeah.
That this white guy could have something valuable to say about race and race relations was so stupid and entitled. And I thought, I can be, Robin Williams. I can step up and I can pull this off.
Yeah.
I know it's bold, but I can pull this off. And that was so arrogant and stupid on my part. So off I go, using all this horrendous language describing our love affair.
While also in blackface.
In blackface. Yeah. And I'd run it past Whoopi and all of that. And maybe she just didn't want to squelch my creativity. I worked for months on this, by the way.
Wow.
Months. And within 20 seconds, I was like, I stuck my finger in a light socket.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, 20% of the crowd, and this was a packed house, 20% of the crowd gets this and thinks it's pretty cool and gets it.
Yeah.
30% of the crowd gets it and fucking hates it. 50% of the crowd didn't get it and fucking hated it and hated me.
Yeah.
And I kept going.
It's funny. I just want to say, I'm physically I feel, when you're describing, I've read the story, I remember from back in the day, but as you're describing as a performer, I'm getting flop sweats, thinking about it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely amazing.
I see myself I'm why am I rubbing my hands so much? I'm just, because I feel that every stand-up comic has been through that, not with that bit, but especially comedians who pushed the envelope. This one I may have gone too far.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Yeah. And I thought I was doing a satire on race relationships, mixed couple relationship. And I thought I was being edgy, yes. But I was like all these edgy comics that I'd seen on the Friars Club.
But also, to be fair, you also thought you were in a closed circuit.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I'm not, yeah, you could still die and feel like that was awful, but but if somebody had said, Ted, there's a 1% chance this leaves the room.
It left the room before I was over.
Oh my God. Like
somebody who I consider a sweet man, and we have had a conversation since then. So I think it's okay to say Montel Williams went out and did his show while I was, as I was finally,
as you were still getting to the closer,
my heart was, blood was still coming out of my, and so it was immediately out in the world. We got back to the hotel, and we had to get on the phone with Mayor Dinkins.
Yeah.
And we did.
Was he there? Was Mayor Dinkins there?
No, but he heard about it.
Yeah. Wow.
And my poor manager said he couldn't open the door into his hotel room because there were so many messages stuck under the door. We did, what was the network? What was it called back then? The audience was African American.
BET.
What?
BET?
BET, yes, yeah. Sorry. We did an interview together over the months, the weeks after that. Coretta King sent a message to Whoopi that was of support.
Yeah.
So that's my explanation.
Yeah.
And over the years, because I have to throw Mary into this because it affects Mary that I'm saying this. Mary was sweet and gentle with me, but early on, but just couldn't understand. She had done all this work, civil rights work and this and that, and she couldn't understand it. So I don't want to think that anyone associated with me got it.
Yeah, they weren't all like, this is the Ted.
No, they didn't. And when Black Lives Matter surfaced during this time, I think it came out in the press a little bit that I had. Somebody brought it up. And I got dropped a little bit from certain things, corporate things, and I was scared.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I reached out. Jane Fonda actually set me up to talk to Heather, who I am forever grateful for, because she heard my story, she got it, and she said, Ann, some kid is gonna, not that your heart will be broken because you love Ted Danson, but will be shocked and diminished and hurt by what he sees. So I am forever apologetic. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, I used to say for the longest time, I knew what my intention was. My intention was love. It doesn't matter. Your intentions do not matter. The impact you have on people is what matters. And if you haven't thought through that, then you need to. Don't think you're, I thought I could run with the big boys, and I couldn't, and it was stupid, and it was not my place, and it was wrong, and it was hurtful. And I, for the longest time, I know my intentions. I know that was the last thing in the world. Well, tough.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
And you've had this impact. So I apologize again for to anyone who's listening that I was arrogant enough to think that I had something to offer. Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for all of that.
Thank you.
Because I knew I wanted to talk about it, but I want to be clear, it wasn't in an effort to get you to make another apology. Like, no, I understand that you're not doing that for me necessarily.
I totally get you. Thank you. And I think you were actually offering me out of kindness.
Yeah.
To say something if I wanted. And yeah.
But
it's tough because it sounds like, oh, good, this I am, you've given me it's okay, Ted. I love you anyway. But I don't even.
Yeah.
I don't even. Well, actually, I do need that, but
but
it's not the why we're talking.
But let's
about
be clear. This is the thing. A couple things, and I've seen it pop up every now and again, like, but it's a thing. So what year was it?
92, maybe
92.
93.
So 92. There are adults with children walking around now since you did. You know what I mean? Like this is like, to me, a part of this is like, I've seen the man who you've been since then. And I think that has only proven to me, first of all, we all make different types of mistakes. I'm not trying to rank mistakes, but we all make mistakes in life. This business is brutal, which I can say. But the thing that I've seen, and if you had not been who you were since then, I don't know if we're talking right now. Well, we're not talking right now. You know, if that had been, as they say, I don't know if you heard the phrase is that was my villain origin story. Like if that is where you were like, well then screw black people. You know what I mean? Like if you and some people have done those things when they get called out for things like that, they suddenly go they go down a dark path. Yeah. And then they become the advocate for and also let's think about this. You dealt with virality and cancel culture before we had words for it. That event went viral. People tried to cancel you. And we've seen it happen in recent years with white men like yourselves, when they get caught out doing bad things, and they, instead of saying like, whew, I got a lot to learn from this and I need to spend time dealing with it. And the fact that you even dealt with it in more recent years speaks to who you are and why I would want to talk to you, and why I sort of look at this guy as this guy is not, first of all, he's not Sam Malone. He's not he was always more than that. And I've seen this guy, it's only become more admirable to me that you have spent so much time publicly dealing with this, or you spend a lot of time publicly dealing with it, because most people don't.
I know. I mean, we were
even today. You could have said to me, "I will talk to you about anything, Kamau." That's a long time ago. Let's not do that. So right. And what I want to reflect to you now, here's more flowers. I know this thing that you're doing right now is going to teach other white people like yourself how to do that.
Heather McGhee didn't just teach me. She was hoping that I would say this.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared. There I go. This will be who I am forever, and I'll be, whatever. So I'm glad. I'm grateful, and this is more to what Heather McGhee was saying. She wasn't giving me a pass.
Yeah.
She was saying this is an opportunity that I hope you take. Mm-hmm. I didn't then, and I feel like, so I'm grateful for this. The other thing it opened me up to, besides your intentions don't matter, mm-hmm. I mean, they matter, but they don't.
They're not the final answer.
My good intentions does not save some kid opening this up and being hurt and angry. So
yeah, I was combined. It just boiled down to it's like stepping on somebody's foot. You didn't mean to do it, but
well,
you
guess
also need
what?
to say. You also need to go, hey.
You broke the person's foot.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
I want to hold on to this. Oh, the other thing that it opened up to me, and this wasn't just me, the whole world was looking at it. And it's an interesting conversation. I don't know if I've earned the right to move on. Do we? To expand this conversation. Mm-hmm. That's me. I have a lump in my throat that I am. That is also me. Mm-hmm. But there you are. So anyway, during this time, Black Lives Matter, we started talking about systemic racism, mm-hmm. Where actually my ancestors did, let's come full circle here,
We're gonna
did
do all
have
of it?
slaves,
okay, yes.
according to, the research done by Skip Gates, But it's not that you are an active, virulent racist mm-hmm. to be complicit. Mm-hmm. Complicit can be looking the other way or going, oh my God, that's horrible, and changing the channel, or are not realizing that I was complicit by not sharing my story when it came out. I'm not trying to beat myself up, but there's a lot of acknowledging the truth of society and life and what people deal with. And it doesn't, and here's the thing that I think we have to figure out, because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that go, fuck you, I'm not a racist.
Yes,
fuck
there
you.
Are. Yes, there are. Yeah.
And so they don't want to deal or hear with it. But it's like, it's okay to say that you're wrong. It's okay to say, I mean, our fights in my house with Mary are only when I'm wrong. Because I don't want to be that person that she just described to me because of my behavior. I can't tolerate that. I can't let that pass. I'm not that person. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm other things as well, but I am also that bad thing that you just described that I don't like the sound of.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of the fuck you, I'm not a racist out there in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
No one's trying to blame you or hold you responsible for what people did, a century or two ago, but look around. You don't have to, we're not asking you to be guilty. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Oh, I have some other horrible confessions.
Oh, God.
This is funny. This is Wonderfully White.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wonderfully White. Now,
Wonderfully White.
Now under our segment, Wonderfully White with Ted Danson.
And both people I said this to laughed in my face and said goodbye.
Yeah.
Not goodbye forever. Just thought it was very funny. Yeah. Where I called and in tears apologized to my black friends. Fuck you. I don't need your apology. It wasn't fuck you because they love me.
Yeah,
but it was like laughing at.
I'll talk to you later, Ted.
You're the 10th white person to call me in the last half hour. Thank you for your apology.
Yeah.
No, and you don't need. I mean, that's the thing. It's like getting rid of the whole thing that's now getting rid of Black history, all of that is trying to erase. You don't need to do that to not feel guilty. Just deal with the truth and take action to make it better, to change it. I mean, that's what is necessary. And what makes you complicit is not taking action and making something better.
Yes.
Does that, you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
You don't need people to, you don't need white people to feel guilty.
No, I mean, here's what I would say. We don't need your guiltiness to be your only reaction. I'm fine if you feel a little guilty, but now move into action.
Yes.
I'm fine if you're like, oh, man, I feel like I'll say
feel guilty for what you did, what you're doing or did. You don't have to feel guilty about your great grandfather. You just need to be aware of.
Be better than him. I think so. Yeah. I'll say this, as a man, that I think the way I sort of understood how to talk to white people about racism is because I understood how women talk to me about sexism and misogyny.
That's great.
It's like, look, you may not be the worst example of sexism and misogyny, but you're still doing things that are feeding into it. So don't compare yourself to the worst. Compare yourself to the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
And that was so because I could always go, well, look, I'm not that guy. But why do you compare yourself to that guy? Compare yourself to the people who are not doing that, compare yourself to the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, I get it now. And then God was like, you will have 3 daughters. So you'll think about this every day. So I don't have to think about how, with racism, it's not even it's like, I feel bad when my daughter comes home and tells me shitty things boys do in middle school. I'm like, I do feel a sense of guilt about why are we like that? But what I also do is give her tools to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I see the same thing with racism. I think it's fine if sometimes I wish white people felt more guilty. You know what I mean? Because I feel not you. I think you feel plenty guilty. But I think so many white people have divorced themselves from race and racism because they don't want to feel anything about it. and then they think, well, if these people just worked harder, it would be better.
No, when I do something wrong and Mary calls me on it, or I behave a certain way and she calls on me and I don't want to be perceived that way, so we have a fight. When I do go, oh, shoot, I am that, I do feel bad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm not stuck defending an indefensible position.
No.
I can move on.
Yeah.
That's what I think is a better way of saying.
Yeah, I think shame can be an engine for change. As far as I'm concerned, I think sometimes
it can be an engine to keep you stuck.
And that's what they use it as an engine for change. Because I think sometimes shame gets a bad rap because people are like, if I feel, you shouldn't make people feel shame. I go, no, people should then feel shame and use that shame to like sort of turn into a better person.
I get up in the morning out of shame. I go to the bathroom out of shame. Exactly. I do everything I am shame-based.
Exactly. But as long as it's getting you out of bed and moving you through the day to be a better version of yourself, that's fine.
Can I do one last thing?
Yes, and then I'll do
I know that everything I've just said, even my pontificating after my story, everything, I know that I am totally capable of being an off-based asshole. And I'm all right with that, meaning... fine.
Yeah.
I get it. And I am or can be or whatever. So I don't
well,
I need to I also want to walk away being able to go, yeah, I did that. And without any caveats or explanations or good guy whitewash.
I appreciate that. And again, I want to say I wouldn't have you in this chair if I wasn't clear about who you are.
I know.
And what and I know that like even you bringing it up means that some asshole somewhere is going to make a headline that says blah blah blah, and that maybe Whoopi Goldberg may have to address it on The View. So, and I know that you're sort of, I understand why you're careful about that. As a person who has my own things that I've done that weren't at the Friars Club in front of everybody, and I feel like, and I think if I think about them now, I'll start to turn into a turtle. Like I understand the bravery that it takes to do that, and I also understand that like you are a great example for people who for white people specifically, who are stuck in these things and don't know how to get out of them, and then often double down. So I just want to say we're going to leave that discussion with.
And can I throw Mary in there again by saying my wife, Mary, did not get it.
Yeah.
Was gentle with me, but never, ever went, oh, I understand, or oh, I get it.
She didn't punch it up for you.
She was the opening salvo of you have something to learn.
Yeah.
So I don't want Whoopi or Mary or anyone to get smeared by this by association at all, because that was me arrogantly thinking I could pull this off.
Well, first of all, so I just want to say thank you for all that. You. That was, again, I sort of thought I wanted to talk to you about it, but clearly I'm glad that we got there so you could say these things, because it is powerful. And we're going to move on to something.
All right.
I want to hear for people, let's say in the time capsule, we need to put in Ted Danson's greatest performances. Highlighted that or loved that, but I really feel like that really represents me well, or that's something I'm really
I loved so much of Bored to Death, which was an HBO show with Jason Schwartzman and Zach Galifianakis and many others, and written by Jonathan Ames. And I just loved it. It was kind of that perfect time in my life when I was 60 and I was in hey, wait for me. Don't leave me out. You know,
there's comedy's doing a different thing.
Guys, let me be part of that. Yeah. I'm still a player.
Yeah.
You know, it was that fear of being left out. And my character had that too. I had that as well. And so it was one of those wonderful, and it was just, Jonathan Ames is one of those innocents who sarcasm, literally you have to coach him through you being sarcastic. You know, if you didn't get any sleep last night and he says, how was your night? And you go, oh, great. He goes, oh, good. You know, and yet in that innocence, which he writes from, there isn't a perversion he hasn't jumped, feet first into.
Yeah.
So it's this wonderful, innocent perversion that's innocent is really highly entertaining. Perhaps perversion's a scary word.
But you mean perversion as far as like askew.
Yeah. just wonderfully askew, always. And so I loved pretty much everything in that show. Listening to his friends say they have to go get a colonoscopy, and I overhear and go, I want a colonoscopy too. It was like, whatever. Damages had some stuff.
Yeah.
The Good Place. I mean, it's hard for me to pick.
Is there one episode of The Good Place that you feel like is like one of the that you're like, man, either we all had it or
no?
I had
I'll tell you, it's hard to separate yourself.
From
the ensemble.
Yeah.
That was telling this story.
Yeah.
But the last episode of The Good Place is after you watch it, I was like, well, I don't know. Obviously, life after life is a mystery, and we don't know. We will, but we don't now.
Yeah.
But I sure hope it's like that.
Yeah.
It was one of those magnificent, really sweet, moving. It's the way it should be.
It's interesting to think that you've had, between Cheers and The Good Place, you've had two shows that the last episode really carried a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Like people were like, I gotta tune in for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in A Man on the Inside, I think one of the last images of the first episode was me with the, I can't remember the character's name, the lady who was in memory care now and had, pretty much full-on dementia, but we were sitting there watching everyone else in the retirement home dancing, and we were just quietly sitting together. I love that. I love that we addressed that. I've been really blessed to be around thoughtful people.
Well, and again, before we head out of here, I just want to say, but also that means thoughtful people have wanted to be around you.
I'm still out of body, my friend.
Because if thoughtful people don't often want to be around people who are not, who aren't equally thoughtful or equally graceful, and I think that that's the thing. As I sit here thinking about, as I wanting to talk to you and what I want to talk to you about, and one of the things was like this idea of like maintaining this career over time that is like this like sort of Willie Mays. I don't know if you know baseball, but like just sort of like, and like Willie Mays was just, or Hank Aaron is actually, I'm thinking Hank Aaron, who was just great for years, you know what I mean? Or like LeBron James is another example. Just like it's just a consistency across many years that is unrivaled and unmatched. And
maybe the fact that you pointed out two black athletes to compare me to will save me.
And do you have two questions? This is the last
one. Yes, I do. Is this off your email? Anyway, go tell me.
Yeah,
about something I care about.
Yeah. So and you can be the thing you've talked about already, but like I just want people. The whole point of this podcast is also getting people to focus on things and causes that they may not be thinking about. As again, because we all got to figure out where we can get in here, and we all got to learn about more things that need our attention.
It's so interesting, and once again, this can be so fucking. I love that I'm not being careful. We're not being careful together right now.
Yeah.
Careful so that it's a shallow, but here I go again in something that may be, but I'll tell you what happened literally after my conversation with Heather.
Mm-hmm.
I had to make a choice, and I remember saying to myself, I'm not Jane, who was my hero. I'm not Jane who leaps up.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I never have been.
Mm-hmm.
And in this moment, I don't know that I want to become the poster child, whether I have the courage in me to be that. But I need to do something. And at that same moment, within months, a friend of mine, Mark Vahanian, who was an actor, and we came up together a little bit in LA, and then he became a trainer and physical trainer. Then he became a trainer of people who wanted to know themselves better. And then he started training executives and whole, Fortune 500 companies to be more effective by knowing who they really are. And then he met a priest and a nun, and he started working in prisons. And he started something called Pathway to Kinship that works with formerly incarcerated people. I left my phone, so I won't get into it. But he's in 9 prisons. He helps people when they come out by helping them when they're still in, by working with them and training them to then come out and be able to have a job, how to present themselves, how to get a good paying union job, how to get a home, where to go, and how to thrive.
Basically, how to deinstitutionalize themselves, to get the institution off of them.
And then he started working within the prisons with people who are, and these are all people who did the crime.
Yeah.
But they also served their time and are coming out. And if you don't have that kind of support system, I don't know, it's a horrible percentage of people that are back in.
Yeah.
Understandably, So then he started working with lifers who will never get out, but who wanted to contribute and feel some sense of redemption by helping people who are coming up for parole really genuinely have compassion and empathy and understand what it is, that the effect of what it is they did. Because if they don't, then it's lip service and they really haven't moved on in life. If they haven't truly, empathetically, viscerally felt what it is that they did by whatever crime it was. And the lifers work with these people, so they're having, they're contributing to life, even though they're not going to ever get out.
Yeah.
And then he started bringing in victims, families of people who lost, by someone doing to them or their family what these people who are looking to have, to get out, so that circle of empathy and understanding and redemption is genuine and well earned. It's called Pathway to Kinship, and it's not reinventing the wheel, because there are other organizations out there. Please check it out. It really is effective. It makes a difference. It is worthwhile to the communities that you live in. It's worthwhile to offer people redemption. Everything about it is worthwhile. That's who I would love support for.
Great. Thank you. So Pathway to Kinship.
Yeah.
Since this is my first podcast, I have a bonus question because I'm just experimenting, and then we'll be done. Is there one lesson that you have learned in your life that you feel like that you take with you, or that you feel like has served you well, that is true for you?
Wow. Lesson.
Or a mantra, or a way that you approach things that you're like, this is what helps me sort of move through the world.
Well, I kind of feel that, I don't know if this is a truism or not, but it is for me.
Yeah.
That it's very it's circular. I feel like I'm here to learn. I keep having to learn the same lesson. It's deeper and I get closer and closer, but it's always the same. But now I'm wondering what it really, really is.
But you feel like there's a circular nature to what you're learning, and you're sort of learning, getting closer to the truth.
I think what it's, I don't know, it's like someone didn't sit me down and teach me this. It's been over and over and over again. But I was raised by my mom and father, but my mom, who is more present emotionally, to be sensitive, kind, caring, loving, nurturing. Then there's this little line underneath that is petty, shitty, mean, angry, fucked up, dark.
Yeah.
You don't go below that line.
Okay.
You celebrate, you're joyful. If you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say anything. There are all of these things and she was genuinely that above the line thing. But when any part of her spirit dipped down, she'd go to bed sick, She wasn't sick. She was angry and couldn't deal with it. So
going to bed was a way to go, I'm not going to be the worst version of myself. So let's sleep it off.
So I walked out thinking, that you can't be nice unless you realize how shitty you can be, because then you have a choice. Then you're choosing consciously, I know I can be shitty, but I'm going to choose not to be. Then it has weight.
Yes.
Then it's something that you've earned. And I didn't do that. And so I had this dark underbelly that was unexamined, and I think Mary has been such a teacher in that way, because I know how much she loves me. She loves me unconditional. Well, probably not unconditional, but she loves me so much, and she knows me and witnesses me. So when she says, "You're mean," after I deny it and we have a fight, I go, "Fuck yeah, I am mean. I am petty. I have all those thoughts. I can be an asshole." Is a wonderful thing to learn, because then I don't, and when I didn't know that, I could never sit down and talk to you for however long this has been. I would make an excuse to go have a cigarette. I'd say, "Excuse me 1 second, I think my mom's gone." I have to go to the bathroom. I would make an excuse because I was exhausted pretending to be Ted. I don't think the silhouette is that different. But I was exhausted, I had to pretend to be that. So I am more and more relaxed in who I am by acknowledging that I am all of it. I am an angry, mean, petty. I am fully human, and I always thought I had to be Christ-like,
Oh, yeah.
And that's a bad path to go.
No, it's a bad path.
So that was my lesson that life keeps giving me, and I think I owe Mary most of my wisdom, or at least the finishing classes came from Mary.
Ted Danson, thank you for talking to me today.
Yeah, Kamau.
It's a true gift.
I don't know what the saying is, but it's like, or where it came from. If you save somebody's life, you have them forever. You have. I'm not saying that you saved my life, but you do have me in your hands forever, and I'm happy, scared, grateful.
I will take that responsibility very seriously.
Yeah, I am. I also feel thank you for letting me, be in your orbit here. Really
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So you were with me then. I have to ask, are you with me, Ted?
I am with you.
Okay.
And I will learn to be demonstratively with you.
Well, it's a journey, but again, thank you for this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I admire you so much, Kamau.
I live in Oakland, so I always tell people, like, I sort of don't know who knows who I am or who cares about, like, as far as like in the business. And so I told you this in the podcast when I got an email that's like, Ted Danson wants you to be in his podcast. I was like, what is that even? Like, literally me and my Kelly, who I was working with at the time, were like, like, so for you, and then for you, they say don't meet your heroes or whatever. But I find that, like, if you're connecting for people for the right reasons, then you can meet them. And so I feel like that's why you have not disappointed, Ted Danson.
When you say Oakland, I think Oakland is a great reality check.
It's a great place.
It's a reality check.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Too.
For sure. Oakland will tell you when you're not doing it right. So I walk those streets every day, and I hear from the people directly when I was, every day. So,
and if I need to apologize to anyone in your immediate family, I apologize.
I don't think you do. I'll double check, but I don't think you do.
I know, but please tell them that.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ted Danson, everybody. So that was my conversation with Ted Danson. It went a lot of ways I did not expect it to go, but that's kind of why I love what this podcast is becoming, that the conversations go a lot of different ways. I know you're watching right now, Ted. Reach out to me if you need me. I'm with you. You're with me. And let's remember, Ted shouted out 2 organizations, Oceana, which is about cleaning up the oceans, which is important if we want to, like, have a planet that we can live on. I mean, the planet will be here, but can we live on it? Let's help him clean up the oceans at oceana.org. That's OCEANA.org, oceana.org. And also, we talked about another organization that helps people who are formerly incarcerated as they make the transition to living on the outside. It's called Pathway to Kinship. So go to pathwaytokinship.org. So that's two great things to support. Clean up the oceans and help people who are incarcerated start their new lives. That's like at the total opposite ends of of what the planet needs right there. We need to clean up the oceans and we need to help people out of prison start their new lives. So do that. Support those two organizations. Again, thank you. You've been listening to Who's With Me, the podcast by me, W. Kamau Bell, a part of Malcolm Gladwell's Pushkin Industries, also produced by Rabbit Grin Productions, and today recorded at Rabbit Grin Productions. So shout out everybody. The theme song is by Chris Dowd from Fishbone. It's called Don't Give Up on Yourself. And I'll see you next week. Our guest next week is Kristen Kish, one of the hosts of Top Chef. A lot of Top Chef talk. There's also a lot more talk about roast. It's weird how this is happening, but enjoy.